As a child, silence meant her parents were fighting behind closed doors. As an adult, silence felt like a lid pressed over her life tight, suffocating, too easy for her thoughts to echo inside. So, when she inherited her aunt's old countryside house, tucked away at the edge of Briar Hollow, she imagined quiet nights as a refuge, a place to write, to breathe, to rebuild. But the house was never quiet. Not really, it whispered. The first whisper came the night she arrived. She'd spent the day hauling boxes inside, opening windows swollen with age, brushing aside cobwebs that clung like strands of old memories. By midnight, she collapsed onto her mattress, still wrapped in plastic, with the windows cracked open to let in the cool autumn air. Just as she was about to drift off, she heard it. A voice or something like one soft as a breath and impossibly close to her ear. Stay. She jerked upright, heart hammering. The room was empty. The house creaked the way old houses do, wood settling, rafters groaning, wine nudging the shutters. Probably just the breeze, she told herself. Probably. The next morning, she convinced herself she dreamed it. She made coffee, opened her laptop, and tried to work on her half-finished travel memoir. But her eyes slid to the hallway every few minutes. The air felt dense, as if someone had been standing there moments before she looked. Around noon, she found the first door. Her aunt's house was small, one-story, 2 bedrooms, a cramped kitchen, and a living area. But as Evelyn walked through the hall with a load of towels, she noticed something strange, an outline of a door in the wall that she had somehow missed the day before. The frame was painted the same faded cream as the walls, almost camouflaged. Had it always been there? She pressed her palm to the wood. It felt cold. No handle, no keyhole, just a faint seam down the middle. She backed away slowly. Something about that door made the hairs on her arms stand on end. She tried to ignore it. She made lunch, unpacked the rest of her things, and took a walk on the overgrown path behind the house. But all day long she felt watched, not maliciously, just attentively, as though the house were waiting for her to do something specific. That night the whisper came again, a bit clearer. Stay, stay with us. Her breath caught. This time she knew she hadn't been dreaming. She flung her lamp on, sending shadows scurrying across the walls. Her room was empty, but the hallway outside her door was not. The faint outline of the hidden door was now slightly open, a crack, just large enough to see inky darkness behind it. Evelyn didn't sleep until dawn. Day 2. Her editor called around noon, asking about her progress. She said the new environment was inspiring, that she had already written a few pages. The truth was she hadn't written a single sentence. She kept glancing at the hall. The hidden door remained. By mid-afternoon, she found herself standing before it again, just looking, listening. Her throat was dry. Who's there? She whispered. A soft rustling answered. Not wind, not wood settling, something moving. The whispered voice drifted out again, this time from behind the door, faint and layered, like more than one person speaking at once. Stay, please stay. She stumbled backward. Panic surged through her, but curiosity rooted itself deeper. The house had been empty for years. Her aunt had died unexpectedly, heart failure, on the back porch. No one had lived here since. Evelyn remembered the funeral vaguely, the closed casket, the hushed conversation, the way her mother said her aunt had gone peacefully. Peaceful didn't match the whispers slipping through the walls now. She slammed the crack shut with the heel of her hand. The wood vibrated, like something behind it had felt the impact. That night she slept with the TV on for background noise, but it didn't help. The whispers threaded through the static. You're one of us. Let us in. Stay. Evelyn put a pillow over her ears. The whispers grew louder. Finally, she snapped. Shut up. She screamed. The house fell silent. Completely, unnervingly silent. Then the temperature dropped so fast her breath misted the air. Something scraped slowly across the floorboards in the hall. A soft knock rapped on her bedroom door. Once, twice, 3 slow taps. She didn't sleep at all. Day 3. She woke with the sunlight blinding her through thin curtains. Her head throbbed. Her coffee tasted like burnt anxiety. At noon, she decided she had to leave. Just pack a bag and go back to the city. She didn't care about the inheritance anymore. She didn't care about the peace and quiet she'd been searching for. This place wasn't peaceful. It was hungry. She shoved clothes into a suitcase. She was halfway to the front door when something made her stop. The hidden door in the hallway was wide open, not cracked, not nudged, open. A rush of cold air breezed out, smelling faintly of earth and damp stone. Her suitcase slipped from her hand, hitting the floor with a dull thud. Inside the door was a staircase she had never seen before, narrow, wooden steps descending into deep darkness. She leaned forward, peering down. The air moved again, touching her face like a cold hand. The whispers curled around her ears. Coming back, you promised. She stumbled backward. Promised. She had never. And then she remembered something. When she was 9, she had stayed with her aunt for an entire summer. She loved that house back then. She remembered exploring the woods, feeding stray cats, listening to her aunt's stories about the breathing house. Stories she thought were metaphors for the way old buildings groan and sigh. There had been one night, she recalled hazily, when she'd sworn she heard voices calling her name from behind a wall. She had gotten out of bed and walked toward where the sound came from. Her aunt had found her sleepwalking, fingers pressed to a seam in the hallway wall. That seam, this door. Her aunt had looked terrified that night. Evelyn had forgotten all of it until now. The whispers grew deeper, layered, pleading. You came back. Keep your promise. Stay with us. No. No. This wasn't real. She ran. She didn't pick up her suitcase. She didn't even grab her coat. She sprinted for the front door and wrenched it open, and froze. Standing on the porch was her aunt, or something wearing her aunt's face. Her skin was pale, waxy, stretched tightly across her cheekbones. Her eyes were black, not like pupils, but like empty sockets filled with shadow. Where are you going, Evia? The thing asked. Evelyn screamed. She slammed the door shut so hard the frame rattled. The thing outside scratched slowly along the wood. Evia, it crooned, voice warping like broken radio static. Come back. Evelyn backed into the living room, chest heaving. The walls seemed to pulse. The floorboards vibrated beneath her feet. Something was waking up inside the house. She ran into the bedroom and dove under the bed, not because it was wise, but because instinct took over. Her breath wheezed in and out, loud enough she feared it would give her away. The house fell quiet. Then, footsteps, slow, dragging, coming down the hallway, stopping directly outside her bedroom. Her teeth chattered. She bit her lip to keep quiet. The door creaked open. Something stepped into the room. She clamped her eyes shut. A whisper slithered across the floor toward her. We see you. The bed lifted slightly, as if something pressed down on the mattress above her. She nearly sobbed. And then, a knock, loud, real, from the front door. Everything went still. A second knock. Hello? Anyone home? A stranger's voice, bright, normal, human. The oppressive cold began to lift. Whatever loomed above the bed receded. The house stopped vibrating. The front door creaked open. Hello, miss. I'm from the county utilities office. Just need to confirm the new occupancy paperwork. Footsteps approached. Her bedroom door swung wider as the man entered. He crouched down and lifted the blanket skirt of the bed. You all right under there? Evelyn burst into tears. He helped her crawl out, his expression bewildered but gentle. Did someone break in? She shook her head violently. We have to go. Now, please. He didn't argue. He led her toward the front door, but as they passed the hallway, Evelyn glanced at the hidden door. It was closed, as if it had never opened. The man followed her gaze. You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. She swallowed. Something like that. They stepped outside into the golden afternoon. Warmth hit her skin like a lifeline. She turned back to the house. It looked perfectly ordinary. The man frowned. I need to lock up. Where's your key? I don't know, she stammered. Inside somewhere. I'll grab it real quick. No. Her voice cracked. Don't go back in. He paused. Miss, I legally can't leave the property unsecured. He gently tugged his arm from her grip and walked back toward the door. Evelyn felt dread pool in her stomach. Please, she whispered. Don't. He disappeared inside. A few seconds passed, then a minute, then 2. Hello, she called, stepping toward the porch. Sir, silence. Her heart slammed painfully against her ribs. She forced herself up the steps, every instinct screaming to run the other way. When she reached the doorway, she saw the man's clipboard lying on the floor. His flashlight rolled slowly across the wood, turning in a widening circle, as though nudged by a gentle breath. Sir, She whispered. The whisper that answered her wasn't his. He's staying. The hidden door in the hallway yawned open again. Darkness spilled out of it like smoke. Evelyn ran. She didn't stop running until she reached the road half a mile away, where a passing truck finally slowed for her frantic waving. The driver took her to the nearest police station. Officers searched the house. They found no hidden door, no basement stairs, no sign of forced entry. They also found no trace of the utility worker, but his truck was still in the driveway. The official report listed him as missing. Evelyn never set foot in the house again. She moved back to the city, took a tiny apartment above a noisy bar, and slept only with the radio on. Sometimes she thought she heard whispers slipping through the music at night. Gentle, patient, familiar, as if the house were still calling to her, as if it knew she still remembered the promise she made as a child. A promise whispered back then in a dream, more so she had believed. When I'm grown up, she had murmured against the warm, breathing wall, I'll come back, I'll stay forever. And in the darkness of Briar Hollow, behind the walls of the little inherited house, something waited, listening, learning her city address, practicing her voice, preparing for the day it would come collect what it was owed. Because she had promised, and some promises don't die. They whisper, and whisper, and whisper, until someone answers.